And he was just going like that, and the story is wonderful. It's every part of it teaches us the astronomical calculations of the solar year. In the Mahabharata, you will find this story. In the Bhagavatam, you find this. In every Purana, you find this story. And wonderfully, in the ancient Egyptian Book of the Dead, you will find the same story. So, this was never a symbol of only cancer, but it is a symbol of a phenomenon that was going on between Cancer and Capricorn, because it was the wonderful symbol of drawing in air as oxygen and giving out air as carbon dioxide, and the wonderful activity taking place between what we call oxygen, or what the ancient alchemists called the traveling sun. Oxygen was called the traveling sun. And what the same ancients called the sleeping king, Saturn, that is carbon. So the whole creation is a game of ball thrown between these two fellows playing the game. When we take in oxygen, this fellow gives us life, warmth, heat, circulation, everything. So this fellow, the oxygen, he uses the warmth, the consciousness, the circulation of blood, purification, rectification, all these things. What happens when we have only oxygen inside and no carbon? We will become so brilliant that we are incandescent and we burn and we die. When 2 or 3 respirations are taken, if at all there would not have been carbon inside, we would have become brilliant and burnt away. Is it not? So, this fellow just catches hold of the tuft, the bark of that fellow, and doesn't allow him to escape. So here is what is called the obstruction or carbon, which causes carbonization, materialization, coldness. Otherwise, it would go to greater heat, enough to burn and kill us. The carbon in us produces the coldness. That's why when we are having carbon poisoning, we have blueness, coldness and sweats. So, our exhalation is what we call coldness, contraction, crystallization and death, or escape of consciousness. And our inhalation is invitation of consciousness inside. This is expansion, this is contraction. This is heat, this is cold. An alternation between the two is what we call the span of life. Without the alternation, we would not have had the span of life. So, these two fellows are symbolized by this symbol by the ancients, not cancer. But now it is used only for cancer. It is the symbol of the reversible reactions of the whole creation between oxidation and carbonization. When those two phenomena are made possible, then the other devas come. For example, the devas of chlorine, called the disciples of Indra. He is described as having the green horse. The Deva Indra is said to come on his green horse because he belongs to the chlorine group. He used birth to the plant kingdom. He is called the green-horsed king, and there are many stories here. This is called the Lord of Death. Lord of Death who lives in the nether worlds. This is called the Lord of Truth, or in Sanskrit, Satyavan, means Lord of Truth, who is destined to die into the carbonization of the body. When we take oxygen inside, it is destined to end into the carbon, otherwise we don't live. Similarly, the sun, every morning he is born and is destined to set in the west. In between, there is the sunlight which comes down to earth. It is called the maiden Savitri in this script. The story goes that she wanted to marry this fellow, Satyavan, but it is predicted that he would die after marriage, and this fellow will take him away through the nether worlds. But she wanted to marry him. She married him, and this fellow, at the time of sunset, took the fellow away out of the body, and she followed him into the nether regions. And it is said that the god of the netherworlds asked her to go away, you cannot take him, it is not possible. She said, wherever he is, I should be there. And the Lord of the netherworld discovered that the two are inseparables and said, you take him away again in the next dawn. That is how the story goes. It is magnified into a modern scripture of the 20th century named Savitri by Sri Aurobindo in English. Of course, the story is there in the ancient scriptures, but he has made it into a full-fledged scripture with all the symbolism worked out. Just this is an example. So this is what is called Sasana Anasana, that is inorganic and organic, each facing the other. The one working for the other working for the one. That is, when the bodies are synthesized, the inorganic kingdom contributes to the organic kingdom. When the bodies are analyzed at the time of what we call death, the organic kingdom contributes to the inorganic kingdom to return to its own native place and take a holiday. And again, when there is an advertisement that Mr. So-and-so is to be born, these fellows after holiday, they again go, inorganic fellows, into an organism and form into an organic compound. And it is said previously that he will multiply by 10 digits. And in the next stanzas, a peculiar thing is going to take place. Just I point out and leave it here. The 1 becomes 10. I told you how it becomes. In the next stanza, tomorrow we are dealing, it is said that the whole creation, space globe becoming active as a unit space globe, it comes out as an egg out of the original space. That is, if you take the original space as Purusha 1, that is the background consciousness. From him, the egg comes zero consciousness. And from the egg, the chick comes as Purusha 2. The next generation. So, from the cock, there is the egg. From the egg, there is the cock in the form of a chick. This is the formula of the person coming down in the next it will be given like that. So from the bird to the egg comes out. From the egg, the bird comes out. And this is the cycle of alternations. Therefore, small eggs come out from the bigger egg. Just remember, afterwards you will be able to understand it. Therefore, the total numerical value of the egg is in its objectivity, and every time 1/10 of it comes out. Just remember, tomorrow and day after we will explain it. He will multiply by 10 digits. Therefore, in each digit he is distributed as 1/10, a decimal fellow. So, in the fourth stage of the utterance of the 4, his numerical value will be the remainder. What is it? And astronomically speaking, the whole day or the whole year, a unit of time is divided into 6 equal parts. For some astronomical purposes, it is multiplied by 6, 36, and it is once again multiplied by 6. These figures will give you the descent of man from God. Therefore, it is called the number of the beast of Apocalypse, 666. Of course, just note down, because it takes time for us to see. This is called the first man. This is called the second generation. This is called the third generation, or the Adam of dust, or Kadmon. Adam Kadmon, who had the fall due to the temptation of Eve. It means something else, which we have to understand later. This is called the third Adam. The first Adam, or the image of God in heavens in the form of the creation. He is called the man in the heaven. The second one, he has come down, not to earth, but the next generation. That is in the Garden of Eden, before fall. And the next is after the fall. He is called the Adam of the dust, or came to physical matter and existence.
The second is called Adam of
Eden, Garden of Eden. Before the curse, before fall. 3 stages of the creation coming out. That is, the stage of light, the first is called, or consciousness. The second is the stage of forces, or devas. Consciousness, force, and the third is matter, the stage of matter. So now we stand here as the capsule of the 3. We have the material body, we have the force that leads it, and we have the consciousness that steers the force. Every one of us, we stand as the capsule of the 3. This is by way of interest. This is the reason why the phenomena of rotation, when it was born in space, started to be governed by the number 36. And the degrees at a point are counted as 360. Instead of having the metric number of degrees, that is 100 degrees, each degree having 100 minutes, metric system foolish. Here it won't work out. There are certain secrets which we will understand gradually. And according to the scriptures, all the 9 numbers called digits are divided into 3 different groups, having three different natures each. The first is called egos or individuals. The second is called Prajapatis, that is the lords of periodicity. You can call them lords of periodicity. For example, we have the day from dawn to dawn, the year, the month, the week, the nature of cycle or cyclic or repetition, and the third is whom we call the pillars of the temple. Pillars of the temple. Here you have 1, 5, 7. Can you divide any one of these into numerical values? Therefore, they are called indivisibles or permanent atoms or egos. No mathematician can dare to divide anyone. You can take the sharpest knife, you can't divide them. 3, 6, 9. They are called the numbers of cycles. And the remaining Pythagoras calls in a different way. These three sets. The first set he calls persons. In our language we can translate it like that. That is consciousnesses, units of consciousness, numbers of rotation. Because to make calculations of circular measure, the decimal system is a thorough failure because everywhere you get recurring decimals. Then you want to have a circular measure of the geometrical figures. Circle, diameter, radius, and harmonic motion, circular motion. If you want to calculate, you can never calculate exactly because the decimal system is unfit to calculate these things. And if you can invent a system which can be called a system of 1/9, you can calculate them exactly. And there was one mathematician in ancient India who evolved a system which is called system of 1/9. And he gave us the method of how to calculate the circular calculations exactly. So Pythagoras, who was also an adapter, because this was the wisdom which was common to all nations and countries. It never belonged to any one nation because they had no political way of understanding things. It was universal. So every country knows it previously. Pythagoras called them numbers of rotation. And here he calls them linear numbers. That means the figures of length and breadth and thickness, etc., can be well calculated with these numbers. And the potencies of these numbers produce the dimensions which we call linear dimensions. These numbers and their potencies produce what you call the rotation, the cyclic motion, harmonic motion, periodicities, etc. And here these numbers, potencies produce the consciousness of I am in you, which is real, and the I am in you, which is false, which is called the ego, lower ego, and the I am in you, which is illusion or the mind. The three I ams called the three Adams. This is how the ancient scriptures divide the 9 digits into 3 categories. Just we have some impressions about them. Someday they will help us. Thank you. Till now we have done with 4 stanzas or mantras. And what is stated in the course of these 4 mantras is that the Purusha or the person has 1000 heads, eyes and feet, etc. And also He has pervaded the whole globe of our creation in all dimensions, that is multidimensionally. And then he stood beyond these dimensions by 10 digits. That is the first stanza. Then the second stanza proposes that all that is in the present, that was in the past, and that would be in what we call the future, is nothing but the presence or the pervadation of the same Purusha. And then he is the Lord of eternity, so he stands beyond time and space, and he multiplies by food or assimilation, and he surpasses the metabolism of the living beings. That's the second stanza. Then in the third we saw that all the above said described thing is his greatness or splendor, and he is always greater than his greatness. All these beings are included as 1/4 of him. That is the whole creation, reach objective, forms 1/4 of the Purusha, total Purusha. The remaining 3/4, they exist in the eternity aspect, or eternal. That is the third one. In the fourth, we have seen that the Purusha who pervades the remaining 3/4 has sprouted up upward in the upward direction, while the remaining 1/4 stood as this world which we know. And then from it he began to pervade in all directions, again from the inorganic to the organic, from the organic to the organic, inorganic. This is what we have understood till now. So, according to the latest stanza, he sprouts up upwards through the first 3 stages, and in the 4th stage he comes to the material existence, having the organic and the inorganic kingdoms working mutually. So we go to the next stanza now. That is the 5th, I think. This is the first line. Tasmat Virat Ajaya. The second line. Virajo. Virajo. Adi. Purusha. Here is a long vowel. Not Purusha, but Purusha. The third line is a little bit difficult. Sa Jato Atya Richyata. Atya Richyata. All one word. The 4th line. Paschat Bhumim Atho ADHO Atho Varaha. Varaha. So it is like this. Tasmat Virat Ajaya. Virajo Adi Purusha. Sa Jato Atya Richyata. Paschat Bhumim Adho Varaha. The first word in prose when split up, it becomes, the D becomes a T, Tasmat. That's the only change it undergoes. It means from him, the D becomes T once again. It is Virat when split up. The word Virat means the shining egg. It is the same, what is called in secret doctrine, the golden egg, or the globe of self-luminosity, self-effulgent egg. That is what Master.E.K calls. And then you have the word Ajayata. Ajayata means born. So that is the first line, and also the first sentence complete. From him, from this wonderful fellow, the person, the shining egg is born. So he lays eggs. And we go to the second line. When broken, it becomes Viraja. So in grammar it becomes Virajo, then split up it becomes Viraja. It means from Virat, that is from the egg. Viraja means from the Virat or from the egg. That's the meaning of this word. Adhi.